about standard form and vertex form is where we left off at. So remember, vertex form is when you have f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Okay? And the parent function looks like this in vertex form. However, when we're in vertex form, well, when I have ones and zeros, anything multiplied by 1 is itself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything added or subtracted by 0 is still itself. So technically our parent function will always be f of x equals x squared, right? Once all the nonsense is removed.
Okay, so I can just use that as my equation.
Yes, but I use this so that you can see where a falls, h falls, and k falls.
It's just a parabola.
Okay? It's just a parabola. I mean, it's just a quadratic function. That's the parent function. All right, so we're going to do an example. So we're going to make an example, and we're going to identify what we can from that example. Well, I'm going to make the example, and you're going to identify. Oh, poopers.
We did an example. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. I just...
No, we didn't. Man.
My hand's in my way. Okay, so from the example, can you tell me what has happened to my parent function?
Wait, let me do it.
Okay, so we had one thing happen was reflect over what axis?
X.
Okay, then what happened?
It was compressed. Stretch.
What direction?
Vertical.
Question.
Poop.
Question.
Yes.
Why is it a vertical stretch? Okay, why would it be wrong if we say it was a horizontal compression?
You know what that is.
Okay, the reason why we don't say the horizontal compression is because we're not affecting the x, we're affecting the y, because it's on the outside. I'm not directly multiplying anything to x.
And X is horizontal.
And x would be our horizontal, because our x-axis is horizontal.
Okay.
Because that negative sign.
Good?
Good.
All right, third thing that happened.
It was the right three. Or the left three.
Left 3, because if it says plus h, that tells me that I was shifted to the...
No.
And then what happened?
Is it down?
So I was shifted down 4. And last but not least, can you tell me my vertex?
Vertex?
Mm-hmm.
How do we do this again?
What is my vertex? Okay?
Vertex equals.
So it's going to be 3 negative 4?
Not just a positive 3, but a...
Negative 3.
It's a negative 3, because what does my initial form start off as? A minus. And the only way to change a minus into a plus is to multiply by a negative. So that means that this has to be negative 3, negative 4 is where my vertex is. That's my h and my k represent my vertex, hence why it's called vertex form. Yes, sir.
Okay. Your h in the problem is 3, right?
It's negative 3. Okay?
Oh, because it's no.
It's negative 3 because the standard form is x minus a number. And a negative times a negative is a positive.
Okay.
So instead of writing it like this, we just write x plus 3.
Okay.
Questions? Comments? Good?
Yeah, we good.
All right. I think what I'm going to do is, for Cornell notes, I think these are good amount of Cornell notes. So we're going to actually finish the rest of our notes on the handout I gave you. So you should have the handout.
Sure.
If you picked it up off the table when you came in.
Really, you said I gave you, so.
I didn't say give. I'm already going to give you one.
Did say
I said you should have.
You said on the notes that I gave you.
I said this should be a good enough amount of notes I've given you.
No. And then you said, so we're going to finish the rest of the notes on the notes I gave you.
I don't really recall.
Can you go back real quick? You honestly have a short memory.
Huh?
Very, very short.
I have a very short-term memory.
Because you just.
I don't remember what I said.
It's going to be on the camera.
All right?
Which one is it?
Both. Can I go now?
No.
This should be page 32. Is it 32?
I went over one note, like on the notes. I moved to the next page, so.
Well, this is a handout, so you can just, you're going to create a flap anyway.
What?
You can just like create a flap.
Over the notes?
Yeah.
But the
You said the notes are 33?
This should be 32.
Also, I see what you're talking about.
So the notes are 32?
But don't put that down.
Did we not just finish 32?
We were on.
Yeah. So we should be on 33 now.
33.
Okay. These are going to be on page 33. I'll go ahead and write that. Okay, so what this is just kind of a summarization of everything we should know. When I am in standard form, from standard form, there are things I can instantly find out about my function. Standard form, I can find my vertex and I can find my y-intercept. Agreed?
Agreed.
All right, in vertex form, I can find my vertex. And I forgot to mention that our axis of symmetry. Whatever your h is, that is your axis of symmetry. Your axis of symmetry is that point in your function that divides your function in, your quadratic function in halves, right? All right, in factored form, when I'm in factored form, what I can find are my roots, my zeros, my x-intercepts. Remember, roots is another way of saying zeros. Do zeros have an e?
Yeah.
I feel like it should.
Are
we still recording?
Yep.
Does zeros have an E?
Zeros. Yeah. All right. I'm a math teacher. I'm okay with that. So it tells me my roots. So it gives me root 1 and root 2. Okay. Notice again that in standard form, it's x minus r1 times x minus r2. All right, so what we're going to go through is identifying and graphing. So starting off with the first one, what form is our number 1 in?
Standard.
Standard form. So in standard form, what can I figure out?
Vertex and your y-intercept.
My vertex and my y-intercept fairly quickly, right? What is my y-intercept? It's the easiest thing to identify.
0, -10.
0, -10. I like the quick response. Okay, that's because C equals -10. Oops. All right, my vertex, how do I find it?
Negative.
Okay, so this is A, this is B, this is C. So all I'm going to do is plug in those values. So B is, a negative times a negative is a? So I'm going to put positive 12 over 2 times -2, which gives me what? Negative
4.
That's the answer.
12 over -4, so
No,
negative 3.
So that's the x value of my vertex. So how do I find the y value? So wherever an x is, I'm going to plug in a.
-3.
So y has to equal -2 times -3 squared minus 12 times -3 minus 10.
Yeah.
What is that, peeps? Yeah. I told
Where
you.
did the -3 come from?
The -3 came from here when I found the x value of my vertex. So when I found the x value of my vertex, it told me what I need to plug in to find the y value of my vertex. And I used the vertex formula, the vertex rule up here.
I got 8.
8. So my intercept is at, my vertex is at
3, 8.
negative 3, 8. Vertex is done. Y-intercept is done. So now on to my roots. Okay? In order to find the roots, what form do I need to be in?
Root factored form.
Root factored form. So that means I need to do what to this?
Make it.
Find GCF first.
I need to find the GCF first. I love it. So find the GCF first there.
I'll say the GCF.
-2.
It would be a -2, not a +2, because we want our leading coefficient to be positive when possible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm left with x squared plus 6x plus 5. So what multiplies, or I'm sorry, what adds to give me 6,
5 of them,
but multiplies to give me 5.
bro. +5.
So a +5 and a positive uno. Correct?
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
The answer? No, it's not. Because
Yeah.
We're good now?
Yeah, we good.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Why you say no?
Okay, so R is the roots.
R are the roots.
Like root 1 from big B.
Root 1 and root 2. Yes.
So root 1 would be B and root 2 would be C
What are your B and C?
on your vertex form.
No, roots are only in root factored form.
I know.
So R1 and
But he's asking like what
Like,
are you
that's what we got our
plugging in
roots
for
from.
R1? Is it gonna be B and C?
R1, R2. Does this form not look very similar to this form? Ty?
You're confusing me.
You're confusing me.
Wait. Can I help him? Cause you know maybe.
Yes,
alright.
you put it in terms that he understands.
Okay.
Bro.
And we can't move on till I get it.
All right, bro. So you know how this is in standard form, right?
Yes.
Y'all listening?
Yes.
Oh, standard form. I didn't mean vertex form. I meant standard form. Okay, but I'm still.
Okay, look. We have to find the roots. We gotta go to the root factor form. So we gotta rewrite this to do that, which we started off by finding the GCF,
You got fat.
which is -2, and then we got this right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we mental math, right, to get
So the factor of the equation.
to get that, right? You use mental math to get this, right? Now, what form is this?
Oh, so that's where we got the 5 and the 1s from.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you got the 5s from you just putting -2 to whatever.
You didn't see the equal sign? No?
Yeah.
We're good now? All right, so if this was initially in a -R1, how did I make it become a +5?
You multiply by so
So my roots are
-5,
x equals -5 and
x equals -1.
-1. Those are my roots.
Gotcha. Love you so much.
And last but not least is our axis of symmetry. Our axis of symmetry. Our axis of symmetry, not symmetry. I don't know what that is. Is found by identifying our vertex, and we identified our vertex, and our axis of symmetry is the x value of our vertex.
-3.
So our axis of symmetry is at -3.
That's simple.
Axis of symmetry equals h.
It equals h, our vertex.
Okay.
The
Oh,
value.
that makes sense because the vertex.
Yep. Because I mean, it has to be the most centered x value. All right, so let's plot what we have. So we have our vertex at -3, 8.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to go to -3, and I'm going to go up to
Ocho.
8. We have our roots at -5 and -1. And we have our y-intercept at -10.
Yeah.
So if our y-intercept is at negative 10 on the 0, how far is that from our axis of symmetry?
It's like 2.
It's 3, right? So if this is my axis of symmetry, if the right I went 2, 3, on the left I need to go how many? 1, 2, 3. So there's my other point. Am I ready to connect my dots?
Yes, ma'am, we are. Get this time.
And there's my quadratic. Okay? So, we read, just to verify, we know that it's all in all three forms. Standard form is what?
Negative 2x squared minus 12x minus 10.
Minus 10.
12.
Vertex form. We have our vertex, and we have our A.
What's our H? Shoot. Oh, negative 2
Mm-hmm.
times x minus
What's our vertex?
h is
Negative 3
But it's a negative, so a negative and a negative is A.
plus 3.
There we go.
squared plus 8.
And plus 8. Because my function, that's my H and that's my
Okay.
K. And then last form is
Root.
So we have negative 2
Question.
I may have an answer.
When you ask for that on the test, will you take off if we don't put f of x equals?
I won't be that picky.
I mean, if you want to give a test, we're not.
You're gonna take a test. Let's try though.
Okay.
You actually have a quiz on either Thursday or Friday
Next week.
of this week. Of this week. So either Thursday or Friday. We'll see how good you guys are tomorrow with the sub.
Because the football players gotta get ready for the game.
My name be here.
Huh?
Dang,
Thursday, the football players aren't going to be here, and Friday.
Why Thursday?
Because we have, the dinner. We have
In the middle of school?
Remember how we wasn't here for that test?
In the middle of school?
It's a
It's
lunch.
for 2 lunches.
It's a luncheon.
Luncheon.
A luncheon? A lunch on? A luncheon?
It's a luncheon.
Friday would leave early.
My mom's a math teacher.
Well, there's only 3 of y'all that will be affected because Eric's not here.
Did I only
Or
say football
you don't
players?
train someone go with it.
Train.
You don't go to the
I'm
luncheon,
not going to the lunch.
so there's only 3 out of 31 affected. So I think we can still go on without you
Think
guys.
about bringing in the bank.
If we had a class of 9 today,
Really think about bringing in the bank. So they can get closer to us.
Whatever.
And football players.
nice try, guys. All right, so how do we feel about graphing?
Our best friends.
So it's for graphing, guys. What are the 4 things you need to know?
You need to know
Vertex,
the roots.
yeah, and the y-intercept.
And as long as you know those things, can you graph it?
Yes.
Yes. As long as you know those things, you can graph your quadratic.
Should we put stars, Mom?
You can.
Wait, don't you need your vertex too?
We said vertex. It was the first thing we
I
said.
thought you just said roots and.
Y-intercept and the root.
Graph must need.
To graph must need.
Vertex.
Girls, how do y'all feel?
Top.
Michelle? Aaliyah?
Oh, that's all you need, right? Those 13.
Didn't Perry say he was a girl that day?
Yes, he called himself my daughter. All right. Good? Yay! All right, let's go on. So what we're going to do now is write the equation. So when I'm writing the equation, I want you to be able to write the equation. Based on what you have, you're going to determine which equation is the best for which one of you to use. Is it best for you to use the standard form? Is it best for you to use vertex? Is it best for you to use root? Okay? Based on the information that is provided. Okay? So let's start. Write the equation of a quadratic function with roots, negative 2, 0, and 3, 0, and a y-intercept of 0, negative 2.
Which
Use
equation?
roots.
Which is my best one?
Roots.
Roots. Why roots?
Because they gave us.
She asked her son.
They gave us one.
Give us both of our roots.
They gave me both my roots, so why would I not use roots? So f of x equals, do I know my a though?
No.
No. So f of x equals a, parentheses, what's my first root?
X plus 2.
Plus 2, second root.
X minus 3.
Alright.
It's always gonna be opposite.
Mm-hmm. It's always going to be the opposite. Okay, so they gave me my root, and so I used root form. Now it gave me my y-intercept to help me solve for my a. So if I know that my y-intercept is negative 12, how do I write that as a coordinate?
0, negative.
0, negative 12. Okay,
Dang.
we agree?
Yeah.
All right. So my y-intercept is 0, negative 12. F of x equals a. So let's go ahead and plug in what I know. So I'm going to plug in f of 0 because that's what x is. What they gave me. Correct? Do I know my a yet? No, because I don't know it. But I know x is 0. So wherever x is, I'm plugging in a 0. So I keep simplifying. And I know that this has to equal what?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. So I have a times 2 times negative 3 equals negative 12. What does a have to be in order for this to be a true statement?
2.
Yeah.
Why does that have to be 2?
Because negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 2 is
So a is 2. So now do I have everything to write my full form?
Yeah.
F of x equals 2 times x plus 2 times x minus 3. And there is my
Okay.
equation.
Okay. Wait.
What do you think?
Okay.
Can I get some water real quick?
The second now where you got negative 12.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's because if x equals 0, what does y have to equal?
Negative.
Negative 12, right? So if I'm going to plug in 0 here, that means I know that my value has to be negative 12.
I got a question on that one.
Yes.
You know how you put f of 0?
Yes.
Because you put in the 0 for the x. Okay. Wouldn't it be the same if you just put negative 12 at the beginning instead of putting f of 0? Or do you put
Yes, I did it just so that you
can see where the 0
can see where the 0 came from. Yes. So I could have put negative 12 in the beginning and just plugged in 0. But I wanted to make sure you were aware that I was plugging in
for x.
for x.
So f of 0 equals.
Yes, because right here we know 0, negative 12. Another way of writing that is f of 0 equals
F of 0 equals
negative 12.
2. Okay.
There's multiple ways of writing a coordinate, right? Good?
Gotcha.
All right, on part 2, problem 2. They gave me a point, negative 1, negative 7, so I'm going to write it as a coordinate, and a maximum value of f of 2 equals negative 1. So that's, again, another coordinate. So if it's my maximum value, what does it tell you? A vertex. And it also tells me what about my function?
H and K.
Your,
Oh.
If that's my vertex,
axis of symmetry.
oops, that's an ugly parabola. That's as good as it's gonna get.
It looks very similar to
All right, so that's my vertex, my maximum point. What else do I know about this parabola? That my A has to be what?
positive.
What is your
One. Wait.
My A has to be what? It's a sad face.
Negative.
Negative. My A has to be negative.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Remember, if I'm smiling, A is positive. If I'm frowning, A is negative. Okay?
Well,
So they gave me my vertex. what would be the best thing for me to do if they gave me my vertex?
Vertex form.
No, vertex form. Look at that. So f of x equals a times x. What's my h?
Negative 2, 2, 2.
Just 2, right? And what's my k? What kind of 1? It's a negative 1 because y is
Rounding.
mm-mm. I don't have 7. Okay, never mind. We're not on lunch yet. We're not on lunch yet.
Oh, we're
I
not?
think this is 6.
Aren't they supposed to take a lunch?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry for the interruption. That's a really cool thing we got going on.
Oh, thanks. All right, so my vertex. Again, this is my h. This is my k. So all I have to do is plug them in, right? Plugged in my h, plugged in my k.
Carry.
Do I know my a?
No.
But what do I know about my a?
It's negative.
It's gonna have to be negative. So we're gonna double check to make sure it turns out to be negative. All right, so I have a point. Will that point help me solve for a? Yeah, because I can plug in x. All right, so again, I'm gonna try to be less confusing. F of negative 1 equals negative 7, correct? So therefore, whatever an x is, I'm gonna plug in a
Negative 1.
negative 1.
That should come out to negative 7. No, never mind.
So 7.
So what can I solve for? What do I need to solve for?
A.
A. How do I get a all by its lonesome?
Divide.
May not, yeah. So, what do I need to move first? Me, pick me. Why do you move first?
Oh, the negative.
I'm gonna add a 1 because it's negative. So 7 plus 1 is
Negative 6.
negative 6. So now I have negative 6 equals a. And what's negative 1 minus 2?
Negative 3.
Negative 3 squared is?
9.
So I'm left with a times 9. How do I get rid of that?
Divide 9.
Divide by 9. So go away. So now I have a equals negative 6 over 9, which reduces to what?
Negative 2/3.
Were we right about our a being negative?
Yep.
Yep, because if we had a maximum, that means a had to be negative. If you did not end with a negative, what does that tell you?
You wrong.
You did something wrong, and you better go check it.
So if you have a minimum, then your A will be positive.
If I have a minimum, then my a has to be positive, because I'm smiling. Okay, so now I have everything. So can I write this now as a full function? So I have f of x equals, and what's my a?
Negative 2/3.
Negative 2/3, parentheses, x minus 2 squared minus uno.
I need to start like numbering my steps. When I look at these
Yeah,
for notes, I do.
let's do that.
I just do it like a little
Let's do that.
pyramid.
So this is 1.
Upside down pyramid.
So first thing first is I filled in what I knew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then step 2 is I used what was given to solve for a. So it's solving for a. First I added 1. That would be step 3. And then I divided by 9. That's step 4. And then step 5 I simplified. And then finally I plugged in my final piece of information.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will work on making sure I put numbers and steps. All right. 3. It tells me now I have a what?
Minimum.
A minimum.
Your A will be positive.
So my A is going to be positive, and if it's not positive, that lets me know I messed up. And so where's my minimum at? 3.
Negative 5.
And so this is my H, and this is my K. We agree?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's vertex. So if I'm giving vertex, that means I need to be in what form?
Vertex.
All right, you're going to solve it. Go.
I knew you was gonna do that. I knew she was gonna.
Alright, so let's go over it. Alright, so first thing first is I write these as points, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is 3, -5, and then this one is 1, 2. Okay? So 1, 2 is going to help me find A, and 3, -5 is my vertex. So step 1, I plug in what I know. I don't know my A, but I do know my H, which is 3, and I do know my K, which is -5.
Gotcha, got it.
Okay? So then step 2 is I'm going to use what was given to me to help solve for.
Square.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
F of 1 equals 2,
Yes.
which equals A parentheses, and wherever X is, I'm plugging in a,
-1.
not a -1, it's a +1.
Wait, why I plug in negative?
I don't know.
That's why.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened.
Okay. Step 3 is I have to move this, right? So if I'm moving this, it's a negative. So when I move it, it makes it a positive. So I'm going to add 5, and that gives me 7. So I have 7 equals A times 1 minus 3 is -2 squared is. And then step 4 is I divide, right? Divide. So A equals. So my final.
I got f of x equal.
I didn't need to reduce. So my final is f of x equals 7/4 parentheses x minus 3 squared minus 5. How we do?
I ate.
See, I put in -1. That messed up the whole thing.
Yes, that will mess up your whole thing.
I don't know, bro. If you looking at the thing above you, that's what you looking at. Because you looking at the top one for an example.
No, you know what it is? On my paper, you know, from the eraser.
Yeah.
From the eraser, you know how the little eraser.
Oh, we left some behind.
Yeah.
All right, on 4, I have zeros and I have a maximum value of 8. However, I know my maximum value is 8, but do I know the x value? No. So can I use vertex form? No, but what can I use?
Standard form.
Not standard.
You got the zeros, don't you?
I can use root form, right? Because I have my zeros.
And zeros equal roots.
And zeros equals roots. So I'm going to plug in what I know. F of x equals, do I know my A? No. A parentheses?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what's my first zero?
X
Yeah.
plus 1.
Uh-huh.
X minus 2. So we're going to put it in there.
So what can I do? I have to figure out a maximum value of 8.
8?
Yeah,
Okay.
8 value.
So that means my x value. I have to figure out how can I have a maximum value of 8. Well,
Wait. Your maximum value of 8 is.
Your A gonna be negative.
Okay, if it's a maximum, that means it's a negative, right?
Yeah.
so we know A has to be.
Negative.
So we know it's a. Oh, how do I do that? It's a negative. And we know that this has to equal what?
What?
We know that this has to equal
8.
8. Why do we know it has to equal 8?
That's our y value of the max.
That's our y value.
So f of x equals.
So would you plug in 0 for the x's? You plug in 0 for the x's, right?
So the vertex is x, comma.
It's
A.
only the
We're
axis
looking
of
for-
symmetry. Which equals 8.
Am I right?
So what's my axis of symmetry?
No, that's not
Is the vertex x, comma 8?
Vertex?
Yeah.
My vertex would be some
It's
h,
8.
comma 8.
Okay. And we got 1 seconds left. So we'll finish this after school again.
All right, let's look at that as a picture part. So drawing picture, I have -1. That's not -1. I would have 3, and I would have -1, right? And I know that these have to be the equal distance from one another.
So really.
Oh, so that-
So if I know that this is up here at 8,
So
what makes What would that happen?
It'll be
Oh, I got
two.
number 1. I'm
Two.
number 2.
One.
It'll be
X equals
one.
One
X
and
equals
what?
one.
H equals one.
Bro, how do I go from -1 and 3? How many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4.
So meet them in
So
the
it's
middle.
halfway between 4.
1,
2.5.
2.
Half of
two.
4. 2.
Okay, but no.
He said
So
two.
-1 go to 0, and then 3 go to 2, and 0 you go to 1, and 2 goes to 1. So that's symmetry is 1. Right?
What'd you say, Nick?
Axis symmetry is 1.
Wait.
It can be 2.
Wait.
So 3 is 1 space away from 2. -1 is 3 spaces away from 2. And so it's 1.
Okay. So
So it's,
it's one.
yeah.
Where'd you get 2 from?
I don't know. I didn't eat my breakfast.
Okay, I'm gonna blame that on my next one.
So then my H is
One.
1. So now do I have a point that I can use to solve for my A?
8.
Okay. So how
What
would
is
you?
8?
We gotta solve for it.
Oh, so x equals 1. Why not put it in 0?
How would you be able to find that without the graph?
How would you would have to realize that these points are symmetrical. So I would do negative, what is it? -1 and 3, so add those together.
So you do like f of x.
-1 plus 3 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1.
Really 2.
So my axis of symmetry has to be at 1.
Why did I put 0?
So it's gonna be like f of 1 equals a times 1 plus 1 times 1 minus.
So I could now solve it, sorry. So I would put f of 1 equals 8, which equals a parentheses 1 plus 1, 1 minus 3. So that gives me 8 equals a times 2 times -2.
Oh, but
Yes,
it's have to
ma'am.
equal 8.
And so what does a have to be?
Well, what's 2 times -2? -4. So it'll be -2.
So a has to be -2. So my function is f of x equals
-2
parentheses x
x plus 1.
plus 1.
Okay.
My head's in my way.
Minus 3.
X minus 3.
Gotcha.
And that would be my function. Sorry for the horrible adding of negatives in my head that I just did. That was a oopsie.
I'll give that to you in a second.
Have fun listening to this tomorrow. Did I need a phone?
Did you?